On this week's episode of The Fizz, we have an action-packed episode. We talk Tigers, we talk Blue Moon recap, we talk Pistons, Beasley, Red Wings free agency. We talk about the WNBA. We have a nice 4th of July hot dog sausage game we kind of play. It's a really good episode, and we're just happy you're here listening before the 4th of July. So before we get into all of that, I do want to tell you about our amazing sponsor, and that is Antonio's Cucina Italiana. They have locations in Dearborn, Farmington Hills, and Canton, and also Livonia. And then they have their original location, Roman Village in Dearborn. And I got to tell you guys, this is my favorite Italian restaurant in all of the world. I've been going here since I was a kid. They have catered my birthday parties. They have catered all my family parties, weddings, rehearsals, all of that stuff. They are an absolutely amazing family with an amazing chain of restaurants. And every time I go there, I get the pastina soup with a bowl of fantastic garlic bread, followed by the gnocchi with Rita sauce. It is one of my favorite dishes in all of the world, and I love going to this restaurant. So whether you're going on date night, just picking up a carryout, or need to take the family out, go find an Antonio's Cucina Italiana, again, located in Dearborn Heights, Farmington Hills, Canton, and Livonia, and then their original location, Roman Village in Dearborn. They have been doing it since the 60s, and they are family owned, and everything is made from scratch. So go check them out. They are amazing. They are awesome, and they do carry out as well. But now let's get into the Fizz. Hello and welcome to episode 190 of The Fizz. Thank you all for joining us. I am here with the main men, Channy Football, Ice Cold Brew Lou. We are on the cusp of America's birthday, recording on Wednesday, July 2nd. Boys, how are we doing?
Doing good, baby. Good to be back. I mean, is there a better weekend of the year for America, for men, for women, for indulging in adult beverages, laying by the pool, getting on the boat, hitting golf balls? I mean, every fucking box is checked this weekend. Go to your local fireworks shop, get your Roman candles, maybe blow a finger off, live on the edge a little bit. It's that time of year. Happy 4th, fellas.
Happy 4th indeed. I agree with you, Lou, on that. This is pure Michigan, pure summer. We're in the heat of it right now. If you blow your finger off, you may see my stepdad in the ER, hand surgeon at St. John Marosse. So don't go see my stepdad, Jeff, this weekend. Don't blow your hand off. Have fun. But this is a pure Michigan, pure summer weekend. Lou, you couldn't have said it any better, other than not just grabbing a beverage. I'm all in on the surf sides. I don't care. I don't care that they're sponsored. It's not a plug. This is the best drink of the summer. You have your summer drink, when White Claws came out, like everyone was getting them. Like this summer, it's Surfside. I'm cracking maybe 15 to 20 of those just on Friday this weekend. I'm fucking ready, boys.
Easily. No questions asked. Boys, I'm coming in hot off the course right now. Just played Copper Hills. Just got my ass beat by a bunch of 25-year-olds. But I'm not complaining because I got like 5 to 7 Surfsides in me. Lost count because they're that easy to drink. It is the drink of summer. They do not pay us a dime to say anything on the Fizz. I don't even know if they know the Fizz exists. This is just 3 guys talking about a great beverage to drink. And I got to tell you, if you haven't had the Surfsides, you got to try them because they're taking over. They're absolutely taking over. What White Claw did, just like Chandler said, a few summers ago, they're doing this, but bigger, stronger, and faster.
That's right. That's right. Lou, what'd you do this weekend?
Pretty status quo weekend for me, Chandler. I'm glad you asked. Friday, got out on the links fairly early, cut out of work a little bit. I talked to the boss. He said it was okay. So good on him for letting me play over at Pine Knob. Beautiful course, by the way. Absolutely love it out there. Didn't play great, didn't play bad. Just a ho-hum 45-45 for me. But got absolutely tuned that night. Blacked. Like, we full steam ahead, boys. Like, went from golf course drinking. Our buddy had one of those drivers that has you can fill up with like a mixed drink in it, and it has a little squirter on the top of it to like hide in your golf bag. So he was making little margarita shots out there, bunch of Surfsides. I love me some Oberon in the summer, so I was sucking those down. Went to the bar after, and then went swimming in the pool till about 2:30 in the morning. till we got to the point where my buddy was there. He was opening the wrong side of the sliding door for about 10 minutes. I was watching him struggle with the handle before we decided, like, hey, maybe it's time. Like, I'm going to call you an Uber home there, pal.
I thought at that point you would just go hit some balls at the simulator. I feel like that's the time you usually like to go.
Then I do like a nighttime swing, but it just didn't happen that day, you know? It was a nighttime swim that night, not a nighttime swing.
I like
There you go. Status quo weekend, getting blacked out. Got it. Yeah, I didn't do much this weekend. I will say this. Went to Ford's Garage today. Don't know if you guys heard about the opening of that here on Hall Road in Utica, but Ford's Garage restaurant down in Dearborn. Little known fact, didn't know it's a chain. So there's a lot of Ford's garages in Florida. I thought it was just like a Dearborn location expanding out to Utica. Actually a really good place. I thought I was going to be surrounded by like motorheads with like oil stained shirts and like, you know, classic cars all pulling up in the parking lot. Wasn't that. It was for the common man, not just the gearheads. So really good food, good atmosphere. One thing I liked about it, they have burgers after like local leaders. So like Mark Hackle, Macomb County executive, he has his own burger. Mayor of Utica has their own burger. So they kind of put a local spin onto a chain. Really good restaurant, Ford's Garage. If you're in the burbs, northern Macomb County, make sure to check it out this holiday weekend.
Nice. I haven't been, but I have heard good things about it as well. And I'm surprised that it was a chain. I thought it was just the Dearborn location, like you said. What'd you eat, Chandler? What'd you go with?
I went to Burnt Ends Melt. So it's like a burnt ends cheddar grilled cheese with barbecue sauce, some bacon jam on it. Give you an option for tots on the side. Never pass up tots when they give you the option. So went tots on the side. Had some cheese curds and some onion rings to start. It was a good spread, really good spread. Went with some heavy hitters from work, so we did it right. And again, would highly recommend to try it out. Very similar to like a what's that restaurant called? Like a BJ's or a Boston's, but it's got like a car spin to it, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna call it like an Art and Jake's, but like branded by Ford.
Yep. Yeah, similar.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Good stuff. Love to hear it. My weekend hit the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Did a great job with it as always. I was spoiled. I was in a chalet, so I was on the 18th hole chalet. Honestly, fans blowing unlimited food, unlimited drinks, watching the 18th hole. Like, you can't really go wrong. So I felt like a little bit of a candy ass being in the chalet, but I also did not care whatsoever. It made me enjoy it a lot. I'll be honest, didn't watch a lot of golf, watched a few putts, few approach shots, but for the most part, I was just enjoying myself. I mean, it was like a 90-something degree day, so we were hanging out in the chalet. But just glad that the Rocket Mortgage is a thing that happens in Detroit. Thought they did a great job. Obviously, they went to the three-man playoff. Pretty exciting. I wish some of the bigger names would have been a part of it. Obviously, we wish our boy Fitzpatrick, what do you lose by 2 strokes, 3 strokes?
Put up a hell of a fight.
Yes. I mean, great call by you, Chandler, getting our Bettinardi bet in there, because that was absolutely the one that I wanted to win. Threw in kind of a chalk bet on Morikawa. But, good result, good event. And I heard that they're only signed through next year. So kind of curious to see where the Rocket goes after a year. Hopefully they renew it or another company picks it up to bring golf to Detroit. But, I think the players like it. It's right after the major, and like, who doesn't love coming out? And, if you go to Oakmont and you're shooting +9 and not making the cut, it's probably nice to come to Detroit, play a pretty flat course and shoot a -14 or so,
And I heard that it is one of only 2 PGA events inside of a major city limit. The only other one being at East Lake in Atlanta proper. So should have that going for us. One of the only tournaments hosted in an urban area. And you know what? They've done well. It's been exciting. Yeah, we didn't know this Gottfried or whatever this guy's name was before he came out here, but you look at past winners, you've had Ricky, you've had Bryson, you've had Cam Davis. I mean, there's some pretty good golfers, Finau, that have won this tournament. It's not like it's a no-name tournament or, Bryson wasn't who he was 5 years ago today. So could you see this with the guy who won it this year? Same with Finau. Ricky was on a drought. So I'd like to see it continue. I think they, on TV, it looks great. They do a great job. And like you said, Frank, the Open's in a couple weeks. It's a confidence booster. Get your swing right, get your confidence right, and get ready for the Open here upcoming.
Yeah, I definitely, I think it's going to be really tough to top the Ricky win. Ricky was Rocket's guy. He was the headliner. He was one of the first ones to commit to it, kind of had his resurgence with that win. I think that was probably the peak we're going to get. Not saying it's going downhill at all, but like it's going to be hard to top that Ricky year with the playoff. It was a playoff win, I think.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. So that was pretty much did that. That was probably the highlight of the weekend until Sunday night. Had a really productive Sunday. It was a good one, hot day. Worked out, sweated out, and then just prepped in and locked in for Sunday night baseball. And boy, am I happy that I had no distractions watching that. I had like 5 different bets on Scooble, 6K, 7K, 8K, 9K, 10K. Bang, bang, bang. They all hit. Scooble with an absolute masterclass at home on a Sunday night on a national broadcast for Sunday night baseball. I mean, what did he strike out? 9 of the first 11, something like that. It was absolutely unbelievable. And they had all the baseball nerds calling the game. They had the stat cast going, talking about where he places it, how he places it, this, that, the other thing. The city looked great. It was standing room only. It was the Tigers' first Sunday night baseball game, I believe, since 2017 when Mikey Matuk was on the fucking roster. Great baseball showcase on a beautiful Sunday in downtown Detroit. Couldn't have been more proud of the Tigers and Tarek Skubal on that win, beating up on the second place team in our division while being up, 12 games at that point. Just incredible. The Stars banging home runs, absolutely rocked. One of the most enjoyable baseball watching experiences that I've quite frankly had in a long time.
I know we were back last year because we hosted playoff games, but like seeing that was like the cementing of us starting this new era of Tigers baseball. As you mentioned, Frank, I mean, Scooble comes out the gates. I stopped counting after 8 because that was my bet, 8+ strikeouts for him. Mows down 8 out of the first 9. I thought an interesting point to it all, I don't know if you guys caught this, it was going around X, but Scooble started 117 straight games with a fastball. And on Sunday night, his first pitch was a changeup. The first time in basically 4 or 5 seasons that he didn't start the game with a fastball on national TV. Coincidence? I think not. I think he probably knew they were going to highlight that, and Byron Buxton probably knew that he was going to get a fastball, hence why he did that. But great atmosphere. I mean, it was absolutely jammed. On TV, you couldn't see any open seats. And the best part about it was they showcased what they've been doing all year. Riley Green hits a home run. Kerry Karp hits a home run. Scooble throws an absolute gem, and they get, help from everywhere, top to bottom. 3-0 game. It was just phenomenal, and it's good to see Sunday night baseball and really nationally televised games back in the city of Detroit. And the best part about it, we're only halfway through the season. We got so much more of this to ride the rest of the year and so much more fun here with this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And just another absolute beatdown today, watching some of that game, 11-2 against the Nats. The bats are hot. Torque is hot. I mean, the ball is just absolutely flying off the bat for the boys.
Yeah, I wanted to mention something about – oh, sorry. Go, Chandler.
Yeah, I was going to say there's nothing more you could want. And you know what? Good for Jake Rogers today. That's what I wanted to say. He hits a 3-run homer in the first inning. Guy has been pure class with this whole Dingler transition, kind of gritted out our shitty years and was a mainstay for us. And he seems to be one of the leaders in the clubhouse. So shout out Jake Rogers. You've been with us through the thick of it. And now you're not getting the playing time because you've got a guy who's probably going to take your spot full time later this year going into next. But shout out Rogers. It was good seeing a 3-run hammer in the first inning.
Yeah, Rogers, absolute gem, absolute glue guy. Couldn't agree more. I think he's Scooble's best friend. I mean, Scooble talks about him even though he's not playing anymore. And, and good on Scooble for, playing with Dingler. But, I wanted to mention the first pitch thing you said, Chandler. So there was also stats too. As good as Skubal has been, like amazing best pitcher on the planet, I have no complaints whatsoever. He weirdly leads the league in first pitch home runs, which is like kind of wild. So like there is a scouting report, and Buxton has like leads the league in first pitch home runs as well. On fastballs. So that's why, not only in addition to like what you said, that first pitch being such a big deal, like Buxton was definitely looking for a fastball to crank out of the park on the first pitch of the game. And I think they both were playing mind games there and doing all that. So that was like a very interesting first pitch. And, that was like full baseball nerding out, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. And like I said, a lot of time left. The new division is this: Rays, Yankees, Astros. AL Central's locked up. You got to beat 2 out of those 3 teams to get the first round bye so that we can get a nice, 5-game series in the playoffs. But got to shift our focus. It's not winning the division. It's not getting in the playoffs. It's taking that next step and winning that first playoff, the divisional playoff series, and making it to the World Series now. So a lot of good things on the horizon for this team. A lot of fun with this team. Let's switch it over to not so fun. And I kind of grin saying this, Frank, but I'm going to let you take it first. Red Wings free agency opens. They signed a couple guys from the Onyx this week, Suburban Ice, Zamboni drivers on the roster, and they managed to find a CompuWare's assistant coach. They sent him down to Grand Rapids, though, for 5 years to develop. So, Frank, you're our resident Red Wing guy. You're our wing nut. You're arguing with people online, not much like you, but this has obviously struck a chord. The Iser plan, it's not hot. It is fucking scorching right now. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so here we are, another off season, another day in hell for your boy. Not gonna lie, definitely a lot of people flooding the DMs, a lot of messages, a lot of hate, and it's time to punch back. It's just, boys, it's time to punch back. Like, there is a line drawn down the middle of the Red Wings fan base right now. It's not even close. It's the most fractured fan base in the state of Michigan. I hate to say it. I don't like it at all. I don't enjoy it. But there are people who believe in Yzerman, believe this plan is going to work out, believe things are going to shake out the right way. And obviously, I'm on that side of it. And then there's people who, don't believe in it at all. Actually, I'm going to pause for a second. There's people who want Yzerman to succeed, want him to do well, but have a lot of questions about signings and people that are here and the direction it's headed, which is absolutely fair. And then I do believe there is like a third of people who they actually kind of want to see it fail just to prove that they were right about Yzerman. Like, I know that's real because there are good deals that have happened and there are right moves that have been made. And I'm getting called like, a dumbass and like the meanest things I've ever seen on the internet. But that's part of the job. That's what we sign up for. If people didn't care, that would be an issue. But let's talk about free agency and the knee-jerk reaction right off the rip. Absolutely underwhelming. That is not a lie. That's not anything I can defend. I wish we were doing more. But I will say, and not to make excuses, the day before free agency opened where you could sign people from other teams was July 1. It was yesterday. Fucking everyone went back to their teams. Like 90% of the most exciting players went back to their team. And the biggest one being that is the Florida Panthers. There is no team on the planet right now that I am more jealous of than the Florida Panthers. They've just won back-to-back Stanley Cups. They are fucking hanging out in sunny Florida, partying their asses off. And guess what? They just brought the whole fucking band back, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, for like the next 5 fucking years. They have this championship caliber roster. I am so jealous of the Panthers. It honestly reminds me a little bit, and not a hoops guy, not a strong hoops guy, but it reminds me of like Golden State. Like knowing that they have these like fucking all-stars for the next 4 years and they're going to be in the conversation as long as they don't run out of gas. But the good of free agency for the Detroit Red Wings, the most positive thing, and this is when the bar is a little low, is that Detroit got rid of Vladimir Tarasenko for nothing. Shedded that contract, did not have to retain the salary. That's Yzerman looking himself in the mirror saying, I made a mistake. This guy's not bouncing back. I'm going to fucking dump this guy and retain this big salary that he had, which is awesome. That was a great start to free agency. Loved it. No idea why Minnesota took on that deal. Doesn't make any sense to me. So that's a good thing. Then you sign Albert Johansson. That's a great signing as well. 2-year contract, just over $1 million. That is a rookie last year who played really well, up and coming star. Albert Johansson is part of the Yzer plan. Like, that's the biggest issue with the Yzer plan is the draft has been good. The homegrown guys are awesome. The pro signings have sucked. We've got no support outside of these outside signings, outside of Kane and DeBrincat. So that's good. We also signed Jonathan Berggren. Berggren kind of here or there. He doesn't really move the needle for me that much, but a solid player, cheap contract, 1-year deal as well. So that's a good thing. Let's keep moving. My favorite signing, without a doubt, Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane gets a deal probably for $3 million for a year, very incentive laced. He actually gets $2.5 million as long as he plays 10 games, which I kind of think is funny. So, like, if he blows out his fucking knee in game 7, like, he basically doesn't get a salary this year. I just thought that was, like, very interesting. So to this point, like, we're happy. I would have loved to look at New York's defenseman Keandre Miller, former first-round pick. Thought we were going to be in a trade deal with him, did not get him. Also, the Kings defenseman who went to New York, Vladimir, begins with a fucking G. I'm kind of blanking right now. Wish we got him, did not land him. And then the signings turn into, like, really unexciting, borderline, like, what are we doing? Like, we got this guy named Ian Mitchell for like $500,000. We fucking signed James Van Riemsdyk for a year, veteran presence. Actually was the second overall pick back in 2007 when Patrick Kane was drafted. So that's whatever, but, like, we're building this army of third liners. It seems like we got some defensemen from Buffalo I've never heard of who may be in the minors, may get called up. And then today, definitely without a doubt, the most puzzling, we signed Mason Appleton. And boys, not going to lie, not going to bullshit. I've never heard of this name in my life. And there may be people out there who are like, wow, you really don't know hockey. But I do have a feeling there's a lot of guys out there who watch hockey, know hockey, love hockey, who haven't heard of this guy. 2-year deal, $2.9 million. Apparently he's a third liner. He's making more guaranteed money than Patrick Kane. I don't really get it. What I read on him was that he's 6'3" and a very physical presence, which the Red Wings obviously lack. But if you were looking for a splash, you didn't get it. The biggest splash, re-signing Patrick Kane and then dumping a Tarasenko contract. Is there a big trade coming? Everyone keeps saying, yes, there is, yes, there is, yes, there is. If you're asking me and I'm betting on it and I'm betting with my head and my heart, there's no fucking trade coming. There's nothing coming.
No. Hell no.
There's nothing coming. The biggest acquisitions this year are going to be draft picks being called up, which is not a bad thing, but it's going to be Axel Sandin-Pellikka and Nate Danielson. And if they're on the roster, I call that a win, but are they going to be good? Who knows? They're fucking 20 years old.
Yeah. I was just looking too. Appleton, guess where he went to college?
He's an MSU boy. He's a Sparty.
He's an MSU boy, dude. He played there for 2 seasons. Hometown kid.
I just don't know ball, I guess. Like, I don't know who that guy is, man.
I know. I would make fun of you, but I had no idea until I saw it as well.
There's no way. Yeah, I know. I looked up to him like, oh, fuck, he's a Sparty. Like, I really don't know anything.
Good signing, dude. Fucking great pickup.
So the way I'm looking at it, you know, the Appleton deal doesn't mean much. The James Van Riemsdyk deal doesn't mean much. I mean, all these 1- and 2-year deals, again, doesn't really matter. Like, so what we're looking for this year, right, is a lot of guys to take a step up. Casper to take a step up. Danielson being called up. Axel Sandin-Pellikka taking a step up. Edvinson, step up. Sider, step up. I mean,
Soderblom.
There are good Soderblom signed. That's a big one. There are a lot of guys. We just need to take the next step next year, and we could be a good team. And then, don't forget, we did get John Gibson. Very big trade, very solid netminder. I say this with confidence. The best goaltender we've had since moving to LCA. That's a big move. That's the biggest move is John Gibson.
What an honor. The best goaltender since we moved to LCA. So he has a pulse and a goals against under 3.5.
Yep, that's true. That's right. Chandler nailed it. We're going to make the playoffs, 17.
Is that recorded from October of 2023? Because I've heard that for 2 straight years. But, I mean, if I would have done a game last week with our free agent signings that said NHL or AHL player, you guys would have failed the test because we don't know anybody here. I'm the opposite of you, Frank. They got $12 million in cap space. And unless Yzerman's pulling a Brad Holmes, why do you save that much money, especially in hockey where that's about a sixth of your salary cap? You're just going to sit on that? You're not going to do anything in such a pivotal year? I can't believe that unless what you've been saying all along is true, which is there's no pressure. It doesn't matter what he does this year. He's coming back. If that's the case, you sit on $12 million. If not, you got to think it's a make or break year just to make the playoffs, and saving and punting $12 million to not spend really shouldn't be in the cards. Let's remember, DeBrincat was traded, 8, 9, 10 days after free agency opened up a couple years back. Let the dust settle. Let's see how the rosters fill out. Let's see if teams start punting this year, knowing what their roster's shaping up to be and maybe open towards building towards the draft. And the one thing we do have, just like with the Tigers, is you got a riches in the minors. You got money and cap space, and you got a lot of young guys. And, you think of a guy like a Trey Augustine, who, for us, does it make sense to keep him? We got Kosa. Do you need to keep a Trey Augustine? Can you dangle that out there for a goaltender of the future to some team and be part of a package? We've got a ton of guys, with Casper and Larkin being, or some of our top 2 centers. Do you need a top 2 center? Or can you punt one of those guys in a trade as well? So I think there's going to be a move. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I'm just looking at it saying salary cap's $83 million. We've got $12 million left. We're really just going to sit on it? Or are we going to extend Kopp for another 5 years at $7 million? I guess that's an option too in the Yzer plan.
For me, it is like he said from the beginning, we're going to build it from the draft. The guys are starting to come up. We're starting to fill the roster with all the draft guys. So, let me ask you, is it too long to wait? Would you rather make the playoffs now and never win the cup in the next 7 years? Or would you rather, not be great for the next 3 years and then contend for the cup for the next 10? And that's what I feel like Yzerman is building here. And, everyone can yell, kick, and scream. At the end of the day, the real hot seat is it's not actually real. Chris Ilitch is not going to fire Yzerman. He's fucking not. They're best friends. It's not going to happen. I guarantee it.
I guess answer that question. I guess you just keep waiting 3 more years. Yeah, keep waiting. I can't wait 3. It's been 6.
Okay, so you waited 12 years for the Tigers to be good. And you yourself have said Avila built this team. Maybe
Correct.
One move from fucking Scott Harris did it. That will be the situation with Yzerman and a new GM. It'll be the exact same fucking situation. What has Scott Harris done besides bringing fucking Glaber Torres? Honestly.
He's probably done a couple more moves than that.
Okay.
You got to think Flaherty for sure. You got to think who he's drafted.
He's our worst pitcher this year.
He's had a good draft. He's drafted a ton of good guys between McGonigal, Max Clark. He pulled off the Thelon Alonso trade for Flaherty last year.
Right now. But that's not doing anything right now.
Well, I called in. You heard my clip. I called in. I do think Avila built the other team. But at the end of the day, I wanted Avila fired then. You get 6 or 7 years, you get 6 or 7 years. Yeah, it sucks, and yeah, you could see. I guess my point is this: if you give anyone 10 to 12 years, they're going to succeed.
That's
they
not
have
true.
to. If you're that bad for that long, you're not going to miss on that many top picks.
I don't think
you'd have to be so bad.
I just don't think if you're around for 10 years, it guarantees you success.
Name one guy who's been around for 10 years that didn't succeed. It doesn't happen. Because you're fired by then.
Yeah, fair enough. How many?
It does not happen.
Yeah, but you're saying if you're around for 10 years, you're going to succeed.
If you give a long enough leash to anyone, you're going to succeed. If you keep failing and keep failing and keep trying, yes, you're going to eventually succeed is my point. My point being is this: No one's ever failed for 10 straight years, then succeeded, because no one's had that long of a leash.
That's fair.
So, again, I want them to succeed. I think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I said it last year. I said it this year. You've got to take that step. And I do believe Yzerman's a great drafter. It's just at the end of the day, you can't leave $12 million on the table. That's my problem with it. It's not who he's signing, this or that. It's, hey, you got to go for it this year and go to make the playoffs. And don't be stupid. But what's the biggest deal? $2.9 million average annual value out of any free agent. $2.9 million is the biggest one. You got to make a bigger splash than that in your bridge contracts and in your bridge guys. And look what you see with, teams like the Pistons. What'd they do last year? They went out, they signed Tim Hardaway's of the world, the Malik Beasleys of the world. They went and traded for Dennis Schroeder's. These aren't long-term guys, but these are good bridge guys, which is what I feel Yzerman has failed to do, is good bridge guys. You need to see that this year. So I'm rooting for them. I think the minor leagues is going to be stacked. To your point, if someone else takes over, they're going to get all the credit for what Yzerman has set up. But at the end of the day, enough is enough. 7 years is 7 years. You got to put up or shut up after 7 years, and you've had enough time at this point to get to the playoffs, not to win the cup, to get to the playoffs.
And what sucks is like the year they tied, they had more wins than the team that went to the playoffs. If they make the playoffs and get fucking swept that year, which is literally the difference between like one tie in the middle of the season, like half this argument's like cooled the fuck down by 50%. Straight up. Like,
I agree.
If they make the playoffs and fucking lose in 5 games, which they absolutely would have that year, when they lost 8 straight when Larkin got hurt, like everyone's cooled the fuck off because they can't point to a playoff drought anymore.
That's right. That's exactly right. So it'll be interesting. We all know it's a big year for the Red Wings, and I think there's more to come. Let's check back in 2 weeks and see how this roster fills out and see who gets called up to start the season. So next up, Pistons. Pistons also had some free agent signings here. Duncan Robinson signing with the Pistons, 3 years, $48 million. Karis LeVert signing 2 years, $29 million. And of course, our favorite three-point shooter, Malik Beasley, signing with the Feds for gambling on the games. Lou, our resident degenerate, thoughts on the whole Malik Beasley situation?
Pretty fascinating stuff, Chandler. Thank you for swinging that over to me, sir. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good for Malik. From the clips on X that we've all seen, the one that's the most disturbing to me, and I'm sure you guys will agree with this, is Malik Beasley's last play as a Piston. Was that a fucking, was he fucking us against the Knicks? Because that was his last play ever against the Pistons when he butterfingered that 3-ball that was passed to him. If that was the fixes in, we're going to have a big problem, Malik. Big problem. I'm talking bigger than the $14,000 you owe the city of Detroit, the other $8 million you owe to the celebrity barber, the dentist, the fucking... Who else you owe on here? I mean, it looks like there's a laundry list of people, and you're going to be eating fucking tofu and plastic silverware, brother, for a while. Because I'm going to punch your lights in.
Dude, it's actually, it's a crazy story. Like, at first it's like, oh, Malik Beasley might have been caught gambling on games, and you're like, okay,
yeah, well, whatever.
Players, yeah, what happened? Was he in a hotel and he threw $5 on March Madness, whatever the JMO thing was, and then you kind of the clips start to come out, and you're watching him fucking go full court as fast as he can in a game that doesn't matter to swing a fucking 7-point spread, and then you're seeing all these other clips of the rebound thing, all that stuff, and then it all fucking breaks that he owes exactly everything you just said, Pizzo, where it's the $15,000 at the Stott, and his dentist is coming after him, and a marketing firm, and then you're reading his new contract that was going to be $40 million plus, he was guaranteeing to everyone else out there. And it's holy shit. And then your heart just kind of breaks of damn, he was so close to inking this deal and helping out with money. And now he's probably not going to go anywhere.
100%. And everybody out there who keeps an ear to the streets knows exactly what happened. Malik owed one of his boys money, and his boy said, listen, buddy, I'm going to need that coin now. That coin never showed up, and he started singing like a canary, and then this all blew up, and the whole $43 million bag was fumbled.
Dude, how?
Tale as old as time. Canaries come out when coin doesn't get transacted. A very old tale. To your point, Frank, you almost kind of feel bad because it's like, how did you dig yourself this deep when you're on the cusp of getting your career deal for a guy like that who's an NBA career role player? You're right there looking to cash in, and then you just can't get to the finish line. This all blows over. With this being said, due process, let's see what happens. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great when you have a lot of corresponding stories, but at the end of the day, on the court for us, we seem to have replaced him with another three-point shooter, Duncan Robinson, who should fill the void, should give us more spacing. You've got, Karis LeVert taking basically Tim Hardaway Jr.'s role on the team. So I'm excited. Pistons, to me, are a lot like the Lions. Get healthy. That's the big jump this year. Get healthy and grow up. You forget Ron Holland's 19 years old. Like, you don't think that guy's going to make a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. Jaden Ivey didn't play 2/3 of the season. You don't think a top 5 pick who's still under 25 still doesn't have a ton of potential? Beef Stew missed our whole playoff series, who was such a big part of defending the rim. And to your point, Pizzo, Asar could be – he showed flashes of being capable of being a top 10 defender, not in the prime of his career, but a top 10 defender next year in the league, and probably the showstopper for the Pistons. So long and short, I think we're right on track with the Pistons. Sad to see the Malik Beasley stuff at the end of the day, but shit happens. You're seeing this more often. You had Terry Rozier, Porter, all these guys, they're all coming out doing it now.
Yep, and you know that there's more in there too, and they're going to find them. And you know what the other thing I was talking to my cousin the other night, and Malik, this guy had $65 million of career earnings. Let's cut that in half with taxes, about 30-ish mil. Bro, this guy has no properties, nothing with big spending. He fucking motored through $30 million on strippers and clothes and fucking toys, and like, that's impressive. You got to think from, resident degenerate here on the podcast, that's tough to do. That's not an easy feat to just blow through $30 million without acquiring a bunch of property or like buildings and shit like that.
Like, I don't even think you do that, Lou. I think you have a little more common sense than that, where our resident degenerate would at least invest a little, Maybe you might have $1 million or $2 million left of the 30 if you were in the same position.
Kind words, dude. Just the most nice words you've ever said to me, Chandler. Thank you.
That is so nuts to actually think about. You know what, though? It's like, maybe the comeback be better than the setback. Like, we've seen worse things happen with worse people in pro sports, and at the end of the day, if he's still banging home threes, he'll find a home. I mean,
right.
You know what I mean? If you can ball, it does not matter.
You think China cares about you fucking gambling? You can go to China and be the next Starberry, baby. Light it up.
The NBA doesn't care. I mean, it's like, if he can still ball, they'll find a spot for him. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room. It is ridiculous. There's a viral tweet going around wow, I can't believe Malik Beasley did this. How will I ever watch him on my FanDuel Sports app sitting in the MGM Bet Casino lounge while and it is just it is a little out of control. It's out of fucking control. The amount of ads and the networks are betting networks. And it's so fucking normalized. And all three of us love to bet. We were betting before it was legal. We're betting now. Fucking Caesar sponsors us, for Christ's sake. But it is insane to see how much gambling has infiltrated all of sports. It's insane.
Yep. You hope it doesn't water down the product. But Frank, as you said, minor setback for a major comeback, hopefully for Malik. But switching gears, major setback for a TBD comeback, the W. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you might not. I'm talking about the WNBA. First time we've talked about it on this pod, because Sophie Cunningham opens her mouth about I'd rather play in South Beach where we get 2,000 people at a Marlins game or 10,000 at a Dolphins game than have a team expand into Detroit where we consistently sell out teams during a decade-long playoff run. I kind of want to get your guys' opinion not only on the Sophie Cunningham comment, which is why we're talking about it here because it affected Detroit and it brought Detroit sports into it, but just about the W as a whole, because to be honest with you, I'm sick of it. They're all fucking ungrateful. They don't sign autographs. They complain. And I've never, in all my business ventures that we've had, and your guys' business ventures, I've never heard a company give someone a raise for a company that didn't make money and was getting subsidized by another company. So I'll leave it there. I'll cap it off, but that's how I'm going to lead into it. I'm tired of them. I've never seen anyone bite a hand that's trying to feed him more than this group of athletes in the WNBA.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, Chandler, and you hit the nail on the head with the Miami and Vegas. They can barely get people to go to a fucking Dolphins game. You think they're going to show up for fucking WNBA regular season games? Like, come on, dude, let's be realistic here. The Detroit Shock had the largest attendance, I believe, for a WNBA game, or in the top 3. They have a title. Like, what the – and then you're in Indiana, and you're going to talk about Detroit and Cleveland? Like, this is the first time I'm going to join up and buddy-buddy with Cleveland. We're on the same page here, but, like, fucking Indiana? Dude, there's nothing in Indiana. Indianapolis, you go there for the Big Ten championship. Outside of that, at least Ohio has fucking Cedar Point, Lake Erie, catch some nice perch and walleye. I mean, Michigan is the absolute summer staple of the Midwest states. Like, it's insane. Do you not realize you live in fucking Indiana and you're bashing Detroit and Ohio or Cleveland? Sorry.
Mind blowing. So let's back up for the whole WNBA in general. Like, the first where this all starts is Caitlin Clark. It all starts and begins with Caitlin Clark. Let's not forget that. We are having this conversation at all, period, because Caitlin Clark is a person. And I feel like the WNBA just has, as players or whatever, has decided to forego that. So they get this gift in Caitlin Clark, most electric player they've ever had. And what do the players do? Like, beat the shit out of her, like, don't like her, call her trash. They split the league against her, like, just absolutely biting the hand that is absolutely feeding them. So following this timeline, the only reason we know, or at least I know, who Sophie Cunningham is because finally, after a couple of years of Caitlin Clark getting the shit beat out of her on the court, someone takes a push back at somebody. Like, cool. Like, in general, like, who, like, and it blows up, right? She's mildly attractive, so the fucking thing gets blown out of proportion. So now the world knows who Sophie Cunningham is. Great. You've now built a base. This is your thing. You're the protector of Caitlin Clark. You're now a second or third face or fifth face of the WNBA. Great. WNBA now, with this momentum, swings it into expanding into 2 cities. This is great news. You are expanding. You're growing. Your audience is bigger. You're going to have a larger market, more people playing. And the first quote we hear is from that woman who we would not even know who she is without Caitlin Clark, saying, like, I don't know who's going to be excited to go to Detroit, or says Cincinnati, by the way. Let's just note that she says Cincinnati, and they she meant Cleveland. And okay. She comes, like, from what you said, Pizzo, she comes from Indianapolis. She's playing in Indianapolis, a hardworking Midwestern city. And if you're going to dog Detroit and you're going to dog Cleveland, maybe you shouldn't receive your paychecks from a city that is, like, built from the same DNA and fabric as the 2 cities you're expanding to. It blows my mind. It's foot and mouth. It's absolutely unfathomable to think of, like, you dogging Detroit being from Indianapolis when, like, Indianapolis doesn't even have a hockey or a baseball team, and Detroit has both. Like, I just can't handle how much they are getting in their own way with everything that they do, kind of like Chandler said.
And it even goes back to the – go ahead, Chandler.
Yeah, to top it all off, she's from Kansas City, another Midwest city. I mean, it's not like she grew up in New York or L.A. or something. She grew up in Kansas City. But you know what? I guess there may be some silver lining for the tens or hundreds of WNBA fans out there. I don't know how many there are now with Caitlin Clark, but there's got to be a couple hundred people that follow it. But long and short, you know, I heard a good comparison on the radio today, and it was like when Michael Jordan came into the NBA. He got his own shoe deal. He was the face of Nike. He was kind of taking the league by storm, and they froze him out of an all-star game in the 80s. They wouldn't give him the ball. They wouldn't showcase him. Isaiah and some of these guys had kind of led this freeze out to be like, hey, this ain't your league yet. And, maybe that's the silver lining in this is that, hey, it'll go beyond that, and they'll start to see some of the results and some of the things that Caitlin Clark is doing for the game and start appreciating it. But I just never seen anything in my life like this where it's so entitled to be successful. And then when you have people who seek autographs or want to watch the games or want to expand, there's always a problem with it. They're never grateful for it. There's just a problem with it. They don't like it done this way. They don't like the shirts that the autograph seekers are wearing. They're creeps. They're this or that. It's absolute insanity. I compare it to this. They want to be paid like NBA players. You think the head chef at Coney Island makes as much as the head chef at Capitol Grill? That's not how fucking business works, Sophie. That's not how business works, Brittany. I'm just sick of it, and I'm sick of the ungratefulness. And they wonder why, but they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. And let's go back to everything so that I can cap it up. This league doesn't make money. They don't make money. They get subsidized by the NBA. That's the hilarious part about it all. They're doing this expansions because now they see the opportunity. Now they have the avenue to potentially step out on their own, and it's met with resistance. It's absolute bullshit. And they should be ashamed of themselves. And who the fuck is running the league? Do you have any control over anything? When someone steps out of line in the NFL, the UFC, you don't think Goodell and Dana White have them calling publicly say, step down? Who's running this league? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I could tell you more free agent signings by the Red Wings than executives in the WNBA. That's how nameless it is in the WNBA. So I'm sick of it. I don't really want to spend any more time on it unless CC gets to the finals because that's my girl. She's doing something for the game. And if no one wants to appreciate it, well, you can all piss off and go sit in South Beach in front of 50 fans every night.
Dude, she should pop threes for Beasley. That should be we should get her on the wing. That'd be sick.
Let's do it.
Dude, how about her getting voted 9th in player voting for guards and then 1st in fan voting? Voted 9th in the WNBA. I mean, it's just insane. Like, nobody watches WNBA, or the minimal people who do. You could watch a game for 10 minutes and see that Caitlin Clark is the best player in the league. There's nobody in the league doing what she does. Popping threes from half court, feeding her team, handles, defense, whatever, you name it. It's not even close that she's the most exciting player in the WNBA. And she was voted 9th amongst other players in the league.
She's the only reason we're talking about it. She's the only reason we're having this conversation. Only reason. Absolutely only reason. Because it doesn't expand without her. And I mean, I think, right? But I don't know. Like you said, Chandler, the business doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
The only reason we're talking about is Caitlin Clark. That's it.
That's right. That's it.
It's the only reason we know who Sophie Cunningham is. She's the only reason we know who that woman is. That's it.
That's right.
Caitlin Clark.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get into our game before our last couple segments here. It'll be a segue into our segment. So, boys, we know what's coming up on 4th of July, a tradition like any other. Joey Chestnut back on Coney Island competing in the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest this year. But before that, I want to do some trivia. We're going to do a little bit of local trivia along with some hot dog and hot dog eating contest trivia. So are you boys ready?
Let's rock. Frank's already looking up the answers.
All right. Question number 1, and we are going to keep it pretty short. Just a couple questions here. Question number 1. Which company based out of Michigan started first? A, Kowalski, B, Kogels, or C, Dearborn?
They all feel ancient.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Kogels. Sounds like the oldest one.
I'm going to go Dearborn.
Dearborn. All right. The oldest company that started out of Flint in 1916 was Kogel's. Frank, you are correct on that one. Kogel started in 1916. Kowalski, 1920 out of Hamtramck. Dearborn, 1955 out of, you guessed it, Dearborn. All right, Frank up 1-0 here. Question number 2. The most hot dogs that Joey Chestnut has eaten in a Nathan's hot dog eating contest is A, 74, B, 76, or C, 78?
I'm going to go 74 because in the middle of you asking the question, that was the number that stuck in my head. I'm going to go 74.
I'm going to go 76. I feel pretty confident about that answer, too.
Yeah.
Well, you should be confident, Lou, because it is 76. 76 buns and dogs in 10 minutes. For all you gamblers out there, Joey Chestnut's line this year, 70.5. So 5.5 below his all-time record. I see a record-breaking performance. Jam the over.
Oh, my God. That's
year.
A Brinks truck banger, dude. Are you kidding? That's an early banger. Are you serious? After a year layoff, too, you think he's not going to go out there and fucking motor these dogs down?
Well, mild conditions, too. 74 degrees on Coney Island on the 4th of July is perfect conditions to slug down 75-plus hot dogs in 10 minutes. All right. Question number 3, and potentially the last question, but I'm going to do another one. Which Coney Island franchise has the most locations? Is it A, Kirby's, B, Nationals, or C, Leo's?
Leo's. I'm saying Leo's with confidence. I don't know about Kirby's, but I don't think it's National. I'm going Leo's.
I'm going to go Nationals. I was there today, so I support Nationals. I'm a big Coney Bucks guy. I'm going to go Nationals.
All right. The answer is Leo's. Frank with another hit there. Yes, Leo's is the biggest one, although it seems like Nationals distributes the most in stores as well. Bonus question. The first Coney Island, much to Frank's dismay in the city of Detroit, was American Coney Island. What year did American open?
No multiple choice, huh?
No multiple choice.
Raw, huh?
I'm going to say 1982.
Oh, wow. I was going way earlier. I'm going to go 1969.
You better go even further earlier than that. American Coney Island opened in 1917 and was followed by Lafayette opening in 1924. Actually, the first Coney Island in the state of Michigan was out of Jackson, and it was Todorof's, which opened in 1914, and that was the first known Coney Island in the state of Michigan.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
Been around the block for quite some time.
No wonder they got fucking rats.
Hey, it's 110 years in the baking. I mean,
you're gonna get a rat or two.
That's right. That's right. Any thoughts before we head to over/under on the hot dog eating contest? Any insights, bets you like? And question for you guys: what's your over/under on hot dogs eaten in 10 minutes?
We should do that. By the way, we should absolutely see who can down the most dogs in 10 minutes. If I'm really dialed in, I got 10 minutes. I'd say you'd probably set my over/under at probably like 4.5.
Lou,
I'm not.
Here comes an unrealistic one.
I think I can get 8 down.
Okay, that's pretty realistic. I had 6.5 for mine.
I was thinking like about a dog a minute, and I feel like you start slowing down towards the end.
So Chestnut's back, right? Like he's going this weekend?
Yeah, he's full bore.
What was the number at again?
70.5.
That's a Brinks truck banger. I think we should all make a prediction with an exact number. I'm going 73. I'm going 73.
Lou, what are you going?
I'm going to go that he breaks the record. I'm going to go 77.
Fuck yeah, Lou.
I was going to be bold, too. I'm going 78. He's going to break it.
Oh, my God.
Big stage, the return of Chestnut. He's been salivating for 2 years waiting to fucking jam it down their throats. one of the better parts too of the hot dog eating contest is I don't know the guy's name, but basically like the MC to him.
Oh
the
yeah,
guy
he rocks.
Major League Eating, like he is the face of Major League Eating. I know Chestnut's been there, Kobayashi, but that guy makes the 4th of July Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and he brings a lot of flair and a lot of corniness as well.
When he's introducing all the eaters before they get to the table, that's like probably the best part of the contest.
Oh yeah, one of them. Or when their hands get dyed red because they're just sloshing drinks and water and buns down.
It's 90 degrees and they're just sweating inside the water cup, dipping a hot dog in there. They just look like in the most pain possible.
It's the most American thing there. I asked Chestnut's number. I asked what we would do in 10 minutes, or Chandler did. What's the over-under this weekend, though, for the boys? Like, 4th of July. What's your number set at? I'm going to set stretch number at probably 3.5 this weekend for me. I'm going to say 3.5. Probably going to have 3 or 4 dogs this weekend.
Ooh,
wow,
I'm going to go.
That's fucking rookie numbers.
I was going to say I'm going to go over that. Over all weekend, I'm going 5.5. I think I could have 3 sittings of 2 dogs each.
Yeah. I'm about there. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna get 7 down.
Okay. When producer Mike sees this, he's gonna laugh so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 112 dogs before October last year.
Nobody's talking about it either. That's crazy part. That's a colossal number.
What's nuts is he's just doing it for the love of the game. Like, we don't talk about that. Like, if I don't know if we've ever mentioned on the show, loyal listeners would know, but if you're just tuning in, like producer Mike, who's cutting up this episode, doing the reels, everything, like he would text us every time he ate a hot dog last year, and he was north of 100 before like the Lions kicked off. He finished the year at like 130 dogs, something like that. It was
an insane number.
It was impressive.
Shout out producer Mike.
Yeah. So all right, over under.
Let's rip it.
That's right.
All right. So I got one for you. I feel like, we're in the middle of baseball season. I got a baseball one for you guys. It kind of popped up.
Before we start, we got to touch on last week's because you told me to ask you about it on air. The over-under was Blue Moon. Hudsonville reached out. I think the funniest part of the exchange was you replied, "Hey, Hudsonville," in your DM back to him. And tell us, did you get the shipment? Did the Eagle land?
Yeah, so last week, if you didn't listen, our over-under was Blue Moon ice cream. These boys both said it's underrated. I said it's overrated. Very controversial topic. Got a lot of DMs and messages about it. So, good stuff there for, the engagement and starting the conversation. So then Hudsonville Ice Cream reaches out to me, says like, "Hey, Frank, we think we could change your mind. Can we send some Blue Moon and a bunch of other cases to you?" So I said, absolutely no problem. When are you sending them? They're like, they're going to be there Tuesday. Can you confirm someone's going to be there Tuesday between 9 and 5 to receive the case? I'm there all day. I got other people there to receive the case. Case does not show up, boys, on Tuesday. Does not show up. Today, driving home from the golf course, I get a DM again from Hudsonville. "Hey, Frank, did everything go okay with the shipment yesterday?" I said, Hudsonville, again, did not receive any ice cream. And they go, "Okay, let's check the tracking." And they go, "Looks like it got to the office today," as in Wednesday, July 2nd, at 10:30 a.m. Was there anyone there to receive it? I said no, and there's not going to be. Like, there's no one at the office today. There's no one there. So, fellas, I think there's like fucking 6 cases of fucking Hudsonville sitting on the doorstep of fucking baking. I mean, there's nothing I can do. This was not part of my plan. The plan was for it to be there Tuesday, so I'm not running downtown to like go get ice cream that's been there since 10:30 into the freezer. So
yeah, that's on Hudsonville.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll try again. I'll see if they'll send more. Otherwise, we'll have some fucking sugar pudding sitting at the office.
You want to talk about rat problem?
Yeah, I just can't wait for there to be a puddle of ice cream at my fucking doorstep. I mean, I knew I wasn't gonna be there Wednesday. What do you want me to do? Arrange my schedule fucking to pick up Blue Moon, which I don't even like. Fucking, what do you want me to do? So over under this week, this topic came up on my timeline yesterday, and I've always kind of felt like I'm in the minority on this. So I wanted to ask you guys, baseball, going back to sports here, over underrated, fellas, bunting in the midst of a no hitter.
I'll start with it. Overrated. You know what? If you're getting beat, you take it like a man and you try to beat them back, right? So when you're getting beat, when your pitcher has your stuff, you don't do petty shit like that in order to break up something so monumental such as a no-hitter. If the guy across from you is better than you that day, so be it. But to bunt to break up a no-hitter is, in baseball terms, bush league, and I think it's bullshit. And I think if you do that, you don't want to be the guy behind the guy who bunted to get on, because you're probably going to get a fastball in your ass or in the middle of your back after doing something like that. So I'm going to say bunting to break up a no-hitter is overrated, petty, bullshit bush league play there.
I'm 100% with you, Chandler. If you can't get a hit at the whole entire game and you got to resort to bunting to break up the no-hitter, you're a scumbag, you're a loser, and you suck at baseball. They should fucking tear up your contract and send you out to fucking Japan to play ball for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so this is where I'm in the minority. Like, I just feel like you're getting beat. You got to find a way on base. You're trying to figure it out. You got to mix things up. Bam, lay a bunt down, get on base. Like, I don't give a fuck that you're throwing a no-hitter. It's not like a bunt is a guaranteed way on base. It's like, if that was the case, then everyone would just bunt all the time. We'd be bunting around the bases. Bases just, it would never end. It would just be endless bunts. If you can't defend the fucking bunt, then you don't really deserve a no-hitter, in my opinion. If you can't get on base, you need to figure it out. You need to mix it up. I have no problem with a bunt. But I will ask a follow-up to this, because I do have the opinion alters a little. If it's bunting in the middle of a no-hitter in game 35 in the middle of a season, like, I do think that's pretty lame. But, like, what if we're talking wild card? What if we're talking playoffs? Are all bets off? Does it not matter? Are you still respecting this fucking guy's no-hitter? Or is it like, I got to do whatever I got to do to get a base runner in this playoff game? Curious if it changes the opinion at all.
I'll ask you a follow-up. What's the score of the game?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's dead nuts. You're losing 1-0. I'm talking 0-0. Like, you guys can't find a fucking hit. It's a fucking duel.
It's got to be fair game then at that point. If you're getting pounded by 5, 6, 7 runs and you do that, you're a loser. I mean, if it's a playoff game and you're losing by 1, you got to get on base. There's no doubt you're bunting.
Even 3 or less. I'd say 3 or less. 3-0.
Yeah, it's still a ball game. You got to get on base in the playoffs.
Okay, good.
Ooh, I'd say it's very circumstantial, to be honest with you. If a guy got walked, you got nobody out, and someone's trying to get on, yeah, you bunt the guy over at that point in time. That's smart baseball. But if it's a no-hitter, you go up there and you gotta do it. You're 1 out of 100 times where that's acceptable in my book. So very circumstantial. I think it's overrated.
I think if it is the middle of the season, 182 games. Or 162 games, like that's probably a little whack. But playoff game, all bets are off, baby. It's win at all costs.
Yep.
All right, good one.
All right, fellas.
Not as controversial as Blue Moon. God, that stuff's just in a puddle at my doorstep. It's gonna be funny to go in tomorrow and slurp that shit off the floor. But everyone, thank you for listening to episode 190 of the Fizz. I hope everyone has a safe and fantastic 4th of July. Enjoy it, Pure Michigan. It's going to be a great one. We appreciate all of you guys listening. Good luck on all your bets this weekend, and good luck with everything you're eating or cooking and hanging out. We appreciate you guys. See you next week.
God bless America.
Have a good 4th.
See you.